Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of Red Leg Media. We've got a great episode coming your way, so stay with us. Thank you again for joining us. We've got a great show for you today on opening weekend in Georgia. We're going to head down to Vidette now and meet up with Taylor and Jared.
My name's Jared Baker. We're out here at Three Trees Ranch. It's about 6 o'clock. Came out here last night, saw a couple birds roosting, so we're going to go try to get them this morning. We found 2-3 gobblers firing off last night, found out where they were roosting at, so we're going to try to get out there before the sun comes up, try to get it done.
Well, this morning we ended up trying to come off, catch us an early bird. Ended up, we had 2 gobblers going. We thought one was going to come in and do his thing. Next thing you know, here come about 8 or 9 hens, and there went that. So we ended up going another tract of land across and trying to strike up a bird.
So after an unsuccessful morning, we went across the street, checked out a few other places, didn't really hear anything. At 10:40, we knew the birds started to get hot again around 10:40 or 11, so we came back across the street where we started that morning, and we were actually lucky enough to hear one gobble when right when we first got there. We were walking, it was about 400 yards out, but we're actually going to go live to that now so that you can see how that hunt ended up.
see him. You either dust rolled him or he snuck out of there real quiet. I think he's dead as hell. I tried to pick him in before he tried to go out. You tried to what? He was going out. I tried to just get him before he... Did you hear him every time God almighty. Really? He wasn't 25 yards at one point. Off in your gun barrel. He should be dead up there. I didn't see him get out.
We went down to this creek ridge and hit the call, and he hammered about probably 400 yards off, and made our way over and ended up calling him. He hammered again as we set up, and about 10 minutes later, here he comes, and he stopped a little bit, 10 yards shy, 15 yards shy of the decoys, and wouldn't come in. He was down in this kind of little thicker brush, and we were trying to get him to shoot, and ended up, we just wasn't working out. The bird was hightailing it out. He was fixing to, so I ended up trying to shoot him. And ended up not knocking him down. His blood and stuff, but he ended up getting away. I don't know, it's part of turkey hunting. Can't let it dwell on it, but we'll get them the next time.
Got a little late start this morning. Got out there, heard a couple shot gobbling around, rain coming through. It's just cold, windy, and rainy right now, so we're gonna wait this rain out. As soon as it stops raining, we're gonna get back out there and try to get the afternoon bird.
So with that rain delay on Sunday morning, not being able to get out with the cameras for the sake of saving our equipment, we actually had a little bit of a time period where we sat around the cabin. We talked with Taylor, his uncle, and some of Taylor's family members, kind of just hung out and a little bit of stuff. But right now I'm going to go over to Taylor, and he's going to give you all a little bit of information about decoy setups, how you want to set up your decoys, when you want to set up decoys, and then he's going to walk you through a few basic calls that will help you out in your own personal turkey hunts.
Hey, my name is Taylor Peterson. Today I'm going to go through a little tutorial on decoy setup and the time to use calls and which calls to use when. Right here I have a AVNX half strut Jake decoy. This is what I prefer to use. I've used it a lot and had a lot of success with it in the past. The reason I don't use a full strut Tom or full strut Jake is because ended up a lot of the birds in South Georgia, they're not as dominant and they'll shy off and don't want to come into the decoy setup. Also with this half strut Jake, I use AVNX laydown hen. I use this laydown hen because this just shows the hens in breeding session and ends up, I guess, makes the gobbler that's coming in see that somebody else, the other gobbler, is taking his prize. The way I usually set them up, I'll stick the laydown hen here and usually stick my half strut Jake, put the stake in the ground right behind, and usually be a little bit further in the ground. Stick him down to where he's kind of facing towards the back of this laydown hen. And naturally a Tom will come into the back of the decoy. That's just how they like to come on the backside of the decoys. Typically in a decoy setup, I try to at least put the decoys out 15, 20 yards from me and somewhat judge where the gobbler is going to come from, and that kind of makes my decision on where I'm going to place the decoys, because when the gobbler comes in, you don't want the decoy straight out in front of you, and that's his first line of sight where you have little to no movement to where he can see you and kind of scurry off. So what I try to do is offset them from me to where if the gobbler comes in, I have a little bit of movement to be able to play, because what do? We don't always have a shooter and somebody calling. We have somebody filming, and with filming, you have to have the mobility to be able to move. So here is a glass slate call, which otherwise called a friction call. I like to use these calls when the birds are farther out from me, where I can try to purr and cluck on it. That's what I usually most use it for, a real soft yelp. Or, I mean, it can be used for a loud yelp. But most of the time I have a lot of success with a purr and a cluck on this call. I mean, it's just, your mouth call, you can do it, but you have to be very talented with a mouth call to be able to do it. And with a slate, you're able to perform it a lot easier. So here I am, I'm gonna show y'all a basic purr and cluck, or cluck and purr. That usually means a hen is just feeding around, doing a little bit of scratching, just kind of loafing. And then sometimes, you know, if you wanted to get more aggressive with it, that can be almost a fighting purr. With that, a gobbler loves to come and check out, see what's what with the hens, seeing the two hens go back and forth at each other. And it usually has a lot of success in the woods, especially here in Georgia. And that's what I usually try to prefer to use. All right, so here I have a ghost cut. I like to use this for, you know, doing a yelp, or you can do a kiki. I mean, it's a very overall good call. You can do a little bit of cutting on it, but it takes a little bit more time. But it's got a very good, you can somewhat get the front end yelp out of this, and it's very effective. Here I have kind of a combo cut, and this is more for more of aggressive cutting. The yelp is a little bit more raspier, but it still, I mean, it does the trick. But most of all, you want to use this for a fly down cackle, or if you're trying to cut hard and get the toms fired up in the woods. I usually use Sweetwater game calls. I mean, I've had a lot of luck with these calls. I mean, the guy that makes them lives out of Girard, Georgia, and I mean, he's very good at what he does, and his calls have been very successful for me. Here, with this ghost cut, right now, I need to just kind of dry. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have this call wet, and it's, you know, if the bottom reed and the top reed stick, the call will not sound right. So what you first want to do is stick it in your mouth, kind of swash it around, you know, get a little moisture on it, and you'll be able to see what's what. So here I have the ghost cut, and I'm going to show y'all a yelp on the ghost cut that I like. I try to use 5 to 6 notes at a time. A little bit more than that, it kind of sounds unnatural. This has a kind of mixture of the front end yelp with a little bit of rasp. And here I have the combo cut, and this is what I use, like I say, for a fly down cackle or a hard cut, and here it is. That's the difference with a cut or slight, you know, notch in the call and the reeds. That's what causes that be able to cut in your call, and it works very well. Hey, once again, my name is Taylor Peterson, and that is the basic decoy setup and kind of a few tutorials on calls and what type of calls to use. I appreciate y'all staying tuned with us. Hope you enjoyed it.
After a long hunt on Saturday and a rain delay on Sunday, we were finally able to get back out when the sun came out and head out again over in Vidette to the Burnt Pines, which is a section we'd heard birds in before. We worked him in from a long way off. It'd been a long weekend, but we actually got a bird to come in, and we were actually lucky enough to have the opportunity to take a shot on it.
Well, we finally got it done in Vidette this morning. They've been kicking our tail all season, but this morning, we heard this one and another one gobbling far off, and this one finally decided to come to the Burnt Pines and get smoked. I didn't think it was gonna turn out, but well, you see we got a dead bird on the ground. We on the board in Vidette.
So finally getting that bird in Vidette actually really paid off for all of us. We were grateful for it. We were happy about it. You know, getting this first episode filmed and getting y'all content was something that we've really been looking forward to. And we just want to thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We hope to bring y'all more content in the future. And again, I'm Tucker Hill signing off for Red Leg Media. Thank you.